What, we're gonna fucking rise up and kill the rich people?
There are people that unironically believe this. Absolutely, yes. You know this, Shoe.
Okay, that's a bad thing to you?
Okay, so you're doing it though. You're proving my point.
Okay.
No,
I'm
you're
just
proving
saying.
my point right now because now I thought it was just a meme.
Hello?
Hello, Shoe. How are you?
Hi, how are you? How have you been?
I am good. I'm here to be the joke police.
Oh, yes. Clearly, yes.
No, but seriously,
Um,
what have you been up to?
Nothing, just working on my next video. But I was excited for this. I'm not a debater. I'm not good at debating, so
No, I
you're
understand.
really good. By the way, you're really good at debating. I just need to say, like, you've evolved into like a full debate bro. I was watching like your Mike from PA thing and like a whole bunch of other shit. It's pretty good.
Shit. Well, hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to be like a debate.
Yeah,
I'm thinking this is probably going to be much more like a discussion.
yeah. That's what I
Unless,
figured.
I got to, maybe I have to go full debate, bro. Who knows? We'll have to just
Okay,
see, right?
yeah, you could try. Yeah, I mean, it's good practice for me because I've only debated Carolyn Borisenko, and that was like a
I remember
fucking
that.
train wreck. Yeah.
Yeah, people are getting mad because you don't have the camera on, but sorry guys, it's just a
No, I
call.
don't
Get
want
over it.
to.
So let me give a quick rundown just for the audience, and then we'll kind of take it from there. So someone tweeted, "Meet the revolutionary technology that could help solve the climate crisis," with a picture of the guillotine, and then I said, "Love it when the left advocates for violence while hiding behind the memes." Sounds really familiar. Obviously, talking about the like alt-right kind of comparison there. And then you said, "Dude, we're facing like 10 different crises happening right now. Climate, corona, literally economic inequality is past the Gilded Age, etc. Just let people punch up on Twitter. LOL. Bezos' feelings won't be hurt," which is probably true. I'm sure Bezos' feelings will not be hurt. Um, but yeah, that's kind of just for the audience. Quick rundown of our brief little
Mhm.
exchange there. So, do you want to start? Elaborate a little bit on your position?
So my position is basically just like I think jokes like that should be allowed. Obviously, I don't think you should. I don't think you want to like ban them or anything like that. But
Right. Yeah.
I don't think those jokes are optical poison or anything. I actually think it's quite the opposite. I think jokes like that almost are like uniting in a way. I don't think there are people, unless they're like huge bootlickers, who get offended punching up at the most powerful people in the world like that.
Sure. So
And
okay.
okay, no, you go, you.
I'm just gonna say like, yeah, there's a lot there. Like, first of all, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be allowed to do this. Obviously,
Hmm.
people can meme and tweet whatever they want.
Yeah,
Like, people on this channel know, of course, like I like edgy humor too.
yeah.
I don't have a problem with edgy jokes in general. It's just jokes
Hmm.
like this about like, especially like violent and violent
Hmm.
extremism that I kind of take an issue with. So the punching up thing that seems to be like central to your argument that
Hmm.
it's punching up, and I do agree with you that it is obviously punching up, and there's a difference there. But at the same time, I would ask, where's the line there? Because, for example, you're probably fine with people making fun of you on Twitter, but
Hmm.
I doubt you would be okay if people were consistently calling for your death on Twitter, but they could argue that you're up.
Uh-huh. I understand what you mean.
Like, they could
But
argue you're a privileged YouTuber, you're able to have a successful career by making videos, you probably make a decent amount of money. What's stopping someone from making jokes
mhm.
about killing you? Because I would find that abhorrent.
Well, they do it and it's just like, okay, whatever, like I don't care. But like I feel like there's an obvious line, right? The line is these people are basically untouchable. They're not like you know how like abolish the police was kind of optical poison, right? Because everyone knows a police officer. Like some police officers are in your family, whatever. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
knows a fucking multi-billionaire. These people aren't like us at all. They're not on the same level. Like me and you were like, regular tax paying people. There's a huge difference between multi-billionaires, people in power, like people in our government and stuff like that, making jokes about that and making jokes about like any other person. Like if somebody was like, oh, like talking about how they want to kill Steven Crowder, like that looks bad. That looks like we want to kill people who disagree with us.
But that's
That,
an arbitrary line that you're setting, more or less, right?
well,
Because
I
some
guess
people
so.
might say that, well, Steven Crowder is pretty wealthy, so he is more powerful. He has a shit ton of influence. He's a multimillionaire. Why can't I joke about guillotining him?
Okay, I don't know
Second,
how to.
I mean, if I can go on in the other, because I wrote a couple things down here
Okay, but
too.
like Steven Crowder isn't like, because we have what, the fucking climate crisis. We have a bunch of CEOs. Like no one knows the ExxonMobil CEO. They're not going to see that tweet. They're not going to be offended. Like
It's not about
I feel like
offending. So that's, I think this is another like extension of the disagreement is it's not so much just about who's going to be offended. I don't care who's offended. I don't care if a billionaire sees this and
okay.
gets offended. I don't give a shit about that. I offend people all day, every day for my job. Like, I don't care if people are offended.
Mhm.
I'm more worried about the way that these
Way it
memes
looks. Way it
can.
looks.
No. I mean, optics, we can talk about that too, but I'm more worried
Uh-huh.
about memes that can lead to normalization of
So like
radicalization and
the
violence,
slippery
even.
slope
No, not the
of
slippery slope,
memes. No,
as
no, I know what you mean. Sorry.
we've seen this happen in the past.
Hmm.
So like the alt-right, for example, that's why I made this
Hmm.
comparison. They began as a fringe minority on 4chan, irrelevant,
Hmm.
not powerful, no influence, and they were able to push their extremist and violent ideas into the mainstream by using memes. It
Hmm.
sounds funny. I know, like, under I mean, if we want to talk about optics, this is putting me in a position where I kind of look like the joke police here. So
Hmm. No,
I
I know you're not being the joke, please.
I get that, but I also wanted to lastly just read you this very briefly. This comes from Security Management, a publication of Advancing Security Worldwide. I can send you this study if you'd like. How memes and internet irony are hijacked for radicalization. And this is talking about the alt-right, but I'd like to just read this to
Hmm.
you and just kind of ask you and the audience to think, is it possible that this could apply to these kind of memes as well? It says,
Okay.
the report, which analyzed memes and visual culture on 12 Chan sites from March 2020 through June 2020, found that memes are deployed to promote extremist narratives under the guise of pop cultural aesthetics, humor, and irony, thus lowering the barrier for participation. This attracts a younger generation of digital natives who may be initially drawn in by the visual culture and community component of message boards, and then slowly become more tolerant of radical and extreme ideologies.
Hmm.
So that
Yeah,
would
but
be
see,
far more my concern.
that joke in particular that we fought about, it's structured like a TV ad. Like it's simple and funny. Here's one simple trick to get rid of it. So the message that joke is sending isn't so much we gotta kill the people, it's pointing out that the crisis we're in is started by just a few people. Like that's the joke. The joke is all this would take to end this is just like these
But
people
that's
just
okay.
fucking stop,
I guess
right?
that's why it's a joke, because that's also not
Yeah.
true at all. Like
Okay.
like if we were to kill Bezos, that wouldn't do anything to help
No,
the
I mean,
climate
okay,
crisis. Or
not
ExxonMobil
Bezos particular.
people.
Yeah.
But also I kind of take issue a little bit with you adding this like nuance that just doesn't appear to be there. Like it is about killing people. Like it's a picture of a guillotine. That's from the
Yeah, but
French
it's so
Revolution. Like
the meme is spreading class consciousness. If anything, it's spreading like awareness to people. Like this is the big issue. It's all these people in charge of the world of the country.
but
That's
it's
the
not. But
meme.
see, I would okay. I guess again, if we want to say that it's a joke because it's just a joke and it's not meant to be thought of seriously, then fine. But like, I would take disagreement with that because it might be these top CEOs that are playing a huge role in the carbon emissions, sure, but like they're not just doing that for fun. There's also a demand for it. It's an entire system that's broken, you could argue. And I don't think that just killing billionaires would fix anything. If we were to kill Bezos, someone else would just take the place.
No, I know. I don't think that either. But I'm just saying, like, it's the rhetoric that they're spreading isn't it's not the same as the alt-right thing you're talking about. So like with the alt-right, I hate the punching up and punching down because I'm fine with both kind of jokes, right? So the alt-right will do like racist and sexist jokes and whatever. And that's like an identity thing. That's like, let's say they make a joke about women or something. Like we all do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, they could actually become like misogynist or whatever. What would this joke do? Like just make people hate the most powerful people in charge of our like, I don't see.
It could do a couple things. It could one, I mean, if we want to get into optics, we can talk about that, but optics is not my main concern here at all.
Okay.
But you could argue that this does ultimately hurt your cause just from an optical perspective. You could also argue that, yeah, they might direct their anger at the wrong people. I don't think we should be raging out
This
at
is
Jeff Bezos. I think that you could
this
be
is the right no, this is absolutely the right people we need to be directing our anger to.
okay,
But,
but then
like,
but the last thing I would say also about what the alt-right is with like punching up, punching down. Again, there is a difference there, yes, and I'm not saying that they're exactly identical. However, even if we want to look at it from a historical lens, like the French Revolution, right? That began with quote unquote punching up. It was the peasants fighting against the monarchs, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken. But then
you don't so
that led to over 17,000 people being massacred, including other
mhm,
peasants that just weren't on board with this revolutionary mindset. So the
mhm.
idea that like, oh, it's harmless just because it's punching up, history disagrees with you.
Okay, well, the French Revolution didn't start with memes, but I know what you mean. I just don't see the harm in things like this at all. Like, okay, Trevor Moore, who literally just passed away a few weeks ago, he one of his greatest sketches is like, I think it's the song's called "It's Time for Guillotines," right?
Hmm.
Like, it's a good sketch and it's a good song, right? Like, are you gonna be like, "Oh, excuse me, Trevor Moore, this is a little optical. This is bad." Like, I just these are the most easiest jokes. This is like baby's first political humor, right?
But I would
Kill the
disagree with
rich or
that. But
whatever.
why? That shouldn't be. That I mean, if it you need to explain to me why you think that
Okay.
it's not harmful if we saw the same thing happen with the alt-right. If we are able to see something as harmless, like remember Pepe the Frog? Like all these harmless sort of ideas that like that allowed the alt-right to actually sneak their extremist
Wait,
ideology
are
into
you
the
serious? You
mainstream.
actually believe the Pepe the Frog
No,
thing?
I'm using that as an example of
Okay.
how they
Well,
were able, like it's a known fact on how the alt-right was able to use meme
because they
culture
were
for their
funny. So
benefit.
how about we be funny?
So maybe
Why
we
is
should be
it
funny for the right
oh, guys,
reasons cuz but don't
no
you realize
edgy
that
jokes allowed on the left, guys.
that's not what I'm
Wow,
saying.
I
That
know, but I'm
is
just like, what do you want? Like, I don't understand.
I'm trying to explain why this leads to very like how this can lead to harm. The thing that this could
Okay.
ultimately lead to could be someone taking out actual violent action against, I don't know, a wealthy person. Maybe they're thinking it's punching up. Like, uh, I don't know. Like,
This
how
is
would you
you're
feel if
literally
something
doing
happened
the
here?
slippery okay, you're literally doing the slippery soap can't make edgy memes. Like, what is your argument? Like,
No, no,
I'm
no.
actually not understanding.
Okay, my argument is there are certain memes, right? Certain forms of media, even you could argue, that can lead to the normalization of harmful and extremist ideas. For example, there's
The
a real
street
hold on,
okay.
can I explain? There's a really
Yes.
interesting study where they took women and they showed these women movies about a stalker boyfriend, and then they were found that after women viewed that content, they were more likely to accept stalker behavior in their real life. Media
Mhm.
can normalize certain ideas even on a subconscious level. This is a fact. No, like this is inarguable. So all I'm saying is when you're making memes like this over and over again, you're softening people to radical, extremist, and violent ideas that wouldn't fix our problems. And also, you're providing a safe space, more or less, for tankies and other radicals.
Well, I don't have a problem with people hating the most powerful people in the world and the country. So if that's the
They
slippery
can hate
slope
those
radicalization,
people, but I'm talking about the way that this can normalize extremist beliefs, violent beliefs that wouldn't go to solve our problems.
what did you think about the jokes of Jeff the rocket exploding and everyone like making jokes about that and wanting that to happen? Is that the same as the guillotine?
I mean, I'm not a fan of advocating for violence. I think that ultimately it just hurts your cause.
Okay, like I don't know. I feel like these are just very level 1 jokes. These people are untouchable. It's just such an easy thing. You can't get any more punching up than this. And left wingers aren't the only one making this. Like these are such this is such a
Do you think there are
uniting
any people
sort
that
of
look at this and actually think that they should kill rich people or Bezos?
I'm sure there are people that do that. For the
So would
most part, it's
that be a
people just
problem?
coping.
Would that be a problem in your mind?
if people want to Roblox Bezos, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. But like, listen.
Because I mean, there
So
are other creators, like even the Amazing Atheist was commenting on my thing, saying unironically that they have to pretend they're joking about this stuff, otherwise they'll
mhm.
get banned for violating TOS. I have a screenshot
Okay,
right here.
okay.
So there are people that don't just look at this as a meme LOL. There are people that look at this and it's playing a role in normalizing this idea that we should actually go out and murder rich people.
Do you think that we have the ability to do that? Do you think we have the ability
What do you
to
mean?
rise up and multi-billionaires take them out? I
Not,
don't.
it doesn't have to be multi-billionaires. You said it yourself that it's a class struggle. It could simply just be someone who's more well off. It
Okay.
normalizes violent extremism at the end of the day. And also it's just that, like, I walked away from the far right, and I don't like seeing the left engage in the same kind of bullshit. There are better
It's
ways
to
that you can
me this
advocate for
isn't the
your
same at
cause.
all. But
Well, it doesn't really matter though, because you said you're fine with either.
yeah.
So
I don't.
could you see how like Holocaust denialism jokes could lead to the normalization of like the idea that maybe the Holocaust was a hoax?
Sure.
So what, like,
But
why I'm
this joke, the guillotine joke, is more on the level of the joke where it's like, come and take it with the gun. Because it's against, the government. It's against the people in charge or whatever. The fucking Holocaust, what is that? That's like making fun of victims, survivors. That's such a different thing.
it
Like,
can be different, but it just, if one is worse than the other doesn't mean the other one is therefore good. Like, it's just, it doesn't work like
well,
that. One could be worse, but I mean, at the end of the day, the thing is you're taking the position that all of those jokes are completely fine.
yeah, like every joke is fine. I don't. People can joke about whatever they want as long as it's like clever and they're not just like shouting the N word over and over. And then it's just edgy for the sake of being edgy. But you can like Nick Fuentes, his joke about the 6 million cookies or whatever. Like he got banned for that or something. Like that's it. That's like
I mean,
awful, but it's still a joke.
no, but see
Like
that right there, like Nick Fuentes himself has already admitted publicly that
yeah,
you have to hide behind irony.
yeah.
Like, so you're
But I
giving
don't.
arguments though that are like defeating your own point.
They're too okay.
You're giving me
There's
arguments of people that are
but there's
actually
such
giving.
different things. There's such different things
No,
though. One
you're
is
giving me examples of people
okay.
actually pushing forward radical ideas under the guise of it's just a meme, it's just a joke, bro.
Okay, but what is wrong with okay, I don't understand what is wrong about like joking about killing the most powerful people in the country. I
I told
don't.
you
And
why.
there's
Because
a
it can
huge difference
normalize violent extremism, and also like
towards people who aren't the most powerful people in the country.
it
Like
doesn't.
that's what I
Would you be like? Yeah, so what if they're more powerful? Again, we want to look at the French Revolution and how that began. That began with punching up, and it eventually led to so much, like
Sure.
17,000 people getting
The
killed.
people want to punch. They're either going to punch down or they're going to punch up. So I'd rather them punch up. That's
I
like what
disagree
do
with that.
you
I think I think I have more faith in people than that.
what do you I can't what can we do? Like everyone just wants to cope. Everyone's depressed. Like we're
Yeah,
seeing
so yeah,
fucking
but then so okay, you have the doomer
we want
mindset
to change
where you
exactly.
okay, so there's the doomer mindset, which is let's just joke about killing rich people and that does nothing at all. Or we can actually talk about real policy positions. Like, I know
We
that,
could do both.
I think that you can make jokes about it, sure, but I don't think making jokes about killing people is necessary. And then if we want to talk about optics, there is a level of optics there that I think is important too, because climate change is such a big and serious issue. It demands unity. It demands that we are all working together here. And
I
if
could not think of a more uniting thing than joking about
really, do
people
you
who've
think
been
that maybe
oppressing us.
moderates would be uncomfortable? Do you think people that aren't terminally online might be a little uncomfortable with jokes about guillotining the rich and guillotining Bezos?
Because
Send
well,
them to
that's
the
like
gulags? Like, you don't think that might
they're
like
all fucking
push people
snowflakes.
away?
Then who cares? Okay, I have a lot of right wingers in my audience, and I talked to them about this, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, that's fine. You could joke about like killing the rich, like eat the rich, whatever. It's fine. Like everyone, like most people are fine with this level of bunching up because
It's
it's
fine.
like
That's most
it's
people
almost
aren't
it's just
consistent, so I don't care if most people are fine with it. What comes down to is we as if you're on the left, do not become a different version of a human from people on the right. This worked on the alt-right. It worked before in pushing forward extremist ideas into the mainstream under the guise of irony and humor and gives people this
but
plausible
the right
deniability.
but the right's extremism is like this is a straw man, obviously, but like, kill black people or whatever. And the left's extremism is kill the most powerful fucking people in
I'm not
charge of
saying
the
they're
country.
identical. I'm not saying they're
But then
identical.
why are you worried about left extremism? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not. Wait, you said it yourself. I can be worried about both. Okay.
okay.
And also, when you use memes like this, you're providing a safe space for other radicals. You're providing a safe space for tankies. Like, if you think about it, I mean, I look at myself as an example of this. I had a like right-wing channel. I was never alt-right. I was never a fucking neo-Nazi. But I think that alt-righters and neo-Nazis felt really comfortable in my audience. And I don't want to cultivate
Mhm.
an audience like that. I don't think that I
Okay.
don't want authoritarianism. I don't want extremism
I don't
cultivated in
think this
audiences
is
like this.
extremism though. This is like again, this is basic humor. Like this is like I don't know what else to compare it to. Again, it's almost like the come and take it jokes. Like there's it's just a level of punching up that doesn't have really a comparison with the right.
I just don't know if you
I
can really appeal to that comparison when you're okay with either, so it doesn't really matter in your mind.
because I'm just okay with jokes in general. I'm fine with them.
Okay, I mean that just is
What's
ignoring the reality and the way that
Okay,
media
but what's your
can normalize.
conclusion though? What's the conclusion to this?
My
You just don't.
conclusion is let's take a break from making jokes about murdering people and then giving ourselves this plausible deniability and saying, "Oh, it's just a
We're
joke, bruh."
we're
And
at
instead
peak.
actually yeah,
We're at like the peak of like just our this empire crumbling, right? This is like Rome is about to fall. I think people can joke about this shit, like especially right now. My audience of again with right wingers and left wingers uniting with like Jeff Bezos. Oh, I hope his rocket explodes is fucking hilarious, and I'm fine with it, and I think that
I don't know. You can
yeah.
just if you're uniting on certain guises, I think that could be in really dangerous territory. You could argue that you could unite with the far right on certain
But that's
aspects.
punching.
You want to
They're punching.
No, if you want to talk about killing the rich people, well, the right believes that well, not the right. Sorry, let me clarify. The alt-right, the far right neo-Nazis, they tend to
Believe it's
believe that
Jewish
the very
people,
rich are
yeah.
Jewish people. You might be able to find an agreement right there. Just if there's an agreement doesn't mean that it's a good thing. I just think that we should, for me, it's you got to understand too, my goal at the end of the day is to pull people away from extremism. I don't want people to be extreme left or extreme right. I want people to be rational centrists, enlightened centrists, that's right. And I think that just using jokes like this and humor like this, not only does it push people away, it's just kind of unfortunate because it seems really inconsistent. We like the right talks so much about the way that the alt-right was using memes and everything else, and then now they're doing the exact same thing.
Well, I like using edgy and funny memes. I think they're
I like
fun
using edgy and
and
funny memes too, but we're not talking about just edgy and funny memes. We're talking about edgy and funny memes that are specifically violent in nature and normalize and soften the idea of violence towards individuals.
okay. I don't honestly don't know how to argue this. It's just like I'm fine with these jokes, and I think if anything, they're more like you say you don't want people uniting over this, but I think it's fucking cool and
I didn't
based if
say
we
that either.
all
It's fine if
if we
people
all hate the same people. I don't know.
So basically, like, I have some studies here and some pretty solid historical and empirical evidence to support my claim, but I feel like your claim is just you like memes and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, like, what else could you say though? Like, again, this is
You could
baby's
take the
first joke.
okay.
Who cares?
All right.
I don't. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to say though. It's like again, people just want to punch up. Like we punch down in our careers, right? We still sometimes punch down when we make fun of like random Twitter people
I'm
and
not
stuff.
talking about again, I'm not talking about just punching up and
Oh,
punching down. I'm
I'm
talking
just
about violence specifically. Memes that are again normalize violent ideology,
it's
radical
so
ideology.
unrealistic though.
Why? If it was able to work with the alt-right, why couldn't it work in this area also?
What, we're gonna fucking rise up and kill the rich people?
There are people that, yes, there are people that unironically believe this. Absolutely, yes. You know this, Shoe.
Okay, that's a bad thing to you?
Okay, so you're doing it though. You're proving my point.
Okay.
No,
I'm
you're
just
proving
saying,
my point right now because now I thought it was just a meme.
it is a meme. However,
You're actually kind of
it
okay
would
with it.
be pretty
You've memed
cool
yourself into the radical
if
position, Shoe.
I'm just saying, if we all took a guillotine all together, the left and right held hands, and wheeled a guillotine to Jeff Bezos' mansion, I'm just saying it would be kind of cool. He doesn't even have to come out of the mansion. I'm just saying it would be some good symbolism. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
No, okay, I'm serious. I don't think there's anything wrong with joking about these things, and I don't know how to argue because, like, it's just, I don't know. We're at the tippy top of it's coming to a peak, and I feel, and
you think that maybe guillotining them is
villains.
what's necessary?
These people are villains. They're destroying our country. They're destroying
Why do you think they're
world.
destroying the country? Do you think that there's a demand for that? For some of the goods that they're providing, that on the way of providing those goods, they're also destroying the world?
Like plastics and stuff?
Like, do you believe, I'm getting at something deeper here, which is like
Mhm.
a broken
Cars.
system, system where maybe the individuals aren't necessarily who you should be mad at, but rather the system. Don't we have this conversation about police?
Yes. So capitalism.
I'm not
Is that what you're getting at?
No,
What system are you talking about?
Sorry. Yeah, if you wanna like be upset about something, then why not rage against the system and not like actually the individuals? Like, you could argue that they themselves are products of that system.
Okay. I don't know how to argue against this. So just okay, it's an anti-capitalist meme though. That's what this is. It is criticizing the system.
It's not though.
Is it not?
Because no.
Okay.
Because the way, well, in the way that it's criticizing the system, it's let's kill rich people, which I disagree with that. I think that we've seen this happen with the alt-right, and I think that I see that, I'm against my audience in this one too. My audience doesn't agree with this either, but you know what? I take consistency really seriously, and this is a like major inconsistency that I'm seeing on the left. But either way, if you want to go ahead and give like a closing statement.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if it makes me sound edgy and radical or whatever, but I'm on the opinion of the people in charge of this country should fear the people. I think that's a good thing. I think
okay.
The government should fear the people, and the people in power should fear the people.
I would agree with you completely. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that needs to be done by memeing about murdering people.
Okay.
I mean, you can make the same argument about the president, even if you wanted.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I just think that it is sort of joke policing. It's you're worried about optics because I know that you come from the right and you've seen.
I'm not worried about optics. I've barely made an optics argument this entire time. I think there's an argument to be made on the basis of optics, but I don't think that's the strongest argument here. I think the strongest argument is ultimately the same way that the alt-right was able to hijack internet irony and memes in order to radicalize people and push extremist ideologies. I see no reason why people on the left are somehow above this. I think that they're just as susceptible, and I think we should be honest with ourselves and consistent. But
if the far right got into power because of their edgy memes, what is the worst that would happen? A lot, right?
That's not even that. Like, we could talk about that.
Okay,
sure, we can talk about that.
If the far left got into power, what would happen?
I don't know. Who knows? If we see from history, they might try to establish communism, and then that would probably fail. Who fucking knows? I don't. All right. Hey, I appreciate you coming on, Shoe.
I don't know. No problem. This was fun. I liked fighting a little bit, but
all right.
I appreciate your content. It's better than it's ever been, ever, and anyone who says otherwise is lying.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay,
and yeah, keep up the good video essays. See you later.
Bye.
I wish I'd brought this up because I see a lot of people in chat that disagree with me, saying like, we gotta punch up, lol, all that kind of shit. But I wanted to talk about this too. This is a really interesting study that goes over how humor can be useful in resistance to a form of oppression. However, it's useful specifically in non-violent resistance to oppression. I saw somebody in chat a second ago say, yeah, we're just going to have a peaceful revolution, lol. No, you fucking LARPer. There is no revolution that's going to happen. That's the LARP right there. So just to be crystal clear, I don't have a problem with edgy memes. I don't have a problem with people punching up. I don't have a problem with people joking about Jeff Bezos or rich people or anything else, okay? I make jokes about rich people and Jeff Bezos too. I do have a problem memeing when, let's be honest, for fucking half these people, it's not really a meme. Memeing about killing Jeff Bezos. In my mind, this would be similar to joking about going out and killing cops. Well, I just have a problem with the system of policing. Well, then why don't you talk about that? Not talk about going and murdering individual cops. It doesn't make sense. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you get notified when I drop a new video.